For this example, I'm going to show you some photographs of a homicide scene that took place in a motel parking lot. This is a nighttime scene in which we had very limited lighting. Most of the lighting you see here is from the flash on the camera. You can see the evidence markers in place, the body, vehicles, the fence, and the motel structure itself. We're going to take a look at the map scenes point cloud interface here. This is the drawing area, the drawing screen. You have your menu bar where you can access your commands. You can also use the commands off of the toolbars that are docked here. The command line at the bottom. We're going to zoom in here and take a look at the drawing that was completed for this homicide scene. The boundaries are the chain link fence on one side and the motel outline on the right side of the screen here. As we zoom in, you can see the vehicles. What I've done is put the license plate or the tag numbers on the trunk of each respective vehicle. Zoom in again here and take a look at the evidence markers. They're numbered as they were at the scene to correspond with the photographs. Pan up and then zoom in and take a look at the body outline that was traced off of the point cloud. Move into the lower end of the drawing. Here we have our scale bar and the disclaimer that says these vehicles that are shown are just representations only. The entrance to the parking lot. And here we have the motel itself. What I've done is I have a roof outline represented in the top-down view, as well as the building itself. Let's go up and we're going to open up the point cloud that's associated with this drawing here. I'm going to click on my toolbar here. Point cloud is called Cropped Scene PCI, and here's a point cloud that we have here. Let's take a look at the view, main view here. It's 33 million points, and what we're looking at here are the colors from the scanner. And since it was a nighttime scene, although all the data is there, it's not going to be represented visually. I'm going to switch it to what's called a high intensity grayscale. I'm going to reload the points here. You can see we get a little more contrast to the scene. We're currently showing, out of the 33 million points, 936,000. So about 1 million points are visible on the screen at this time. The screen itself can handle up to 8 million points. So what I'm going to do is rotate the drawing into a view. I'm going to reload the points here. So now we're up to about 4.7, about 5 million points that are visible from this view here. You can see you're able to make out the vehicles and probably the make and model of each one of them. I'm going to pan down in the parking lot to an area of interest here, which is where the body was. Again, it's pixelated, so we're going to force it to reload the points again for this particular area here. We'll watch the screen change here, and at this point we're looking at about 6.4 million data points from the scan. There's a body there, and you can see some of the evidence markers as well in the background. And take a look at a different view here. This is called the color map rainbow. I'm going to reload the points here. You'll see that they're going to color up, and this is what you see typical in the forensic or surveying magazines when they're demonstrating scan data. You get a little more contrast there. I'm going to force it to reload in the area around the body. Now you can see the evidence marker at the head. So if this were a daytime scan, you'd have a higher level of detail from the photo or the image that would have been taken along with the scanner. Let's zoom out, go back to the high intensity grayscale, which is what I used when I was drawing this scene. I'm going to reload the points. Take a look at the drawing and back to the point. This icon here will allow me to load the drawing, so the current drawing that I have, onto the point cloud. You're able to check to see how accurate your drawing is in comparison to the data in the point cloud. Here's our outline of the body. We're going to force the points to reload there. Zoom in, and there you can see the tracing that we did for the outline of the body as well as the evidence markers. So the lane lines were drawn in the same fashion, just tracing over the data points and the line work that was visible at the scene. I'll take a look at some of the tools that are available here. And what I have on now is the reference plane, and I have a saved reference plane for the parking lot itself. And you can see the grid that comes up in green would represent the parking lot itself, the ground level. My snapping option for drawing, I want it to be on the plane, so that anything that I draw is going to be on this plane. I'm going to show it as a solid color, which comes in as orange, to give you a better idea on what it looks like, and lock it into a top-down view. So any drawing that I do at this point here is going to be locked onto that orange ground plane or the green grid. These are the manipulators that allow you to move the ground plane up and down, also from side to side. Here I can expand it in the X or in the Y direction to fit the scene. I could also expand it up in the Z direction. Okay, I'm going to turn the grid off, lock it into a top-down view. And reload the points here, and I'm going to show you how to draw some basic line work into the scene. So I'm going to activate the pencil here and just randomly draw a set of lines through here. And end the command there. You can see that the line is in purple. I'm going to switch to the drawing view. There's a line work that I've drawn, and for the demonstration I'm going to change the color of the line work to red, so that you can see how it shows up on the point cloud itself. I'm going to bring the point cloud back in, force it to reload my drawing, and there you have it. That's the line work that we just drew in. So again, as I mentioned earlier, that's basically how this scene was drawn. The parking lot lines, the vehicles, I drew in some reference lines and brought in the symbols to line up to the area. What we're looking at here is the building outline itself. You can see that it is masked in the top-down view by the roof outline. We're going to take a look at a tool that's going to help us draw the building outline. This is called the Cutting Plane Toolbox, and it'll allow us to put a cutting cube onto the building that'll remove the roof and give us a clean view of the building outline. So my cutting cube comes in at random. It's very easy to align. In this case, I have saved my settings called Motel Ground Floor. I'm going to load those in. You have the manipulators here that allow you to move the cube left, right, up and down, and these controllers here allow you to expand it also in the X, Y, and Z direction. So I'm going to apply it, and you can see that it's basically cut out the roof, and it gives us a top-down view. Here's a view here with the roof line removed. I'm going to snap this back down into a top-down view, and what I've done is basically traced over the point cloud data to define the building outline. One thing I wanted to point out is that if you have two monitors on your computer, it makes it much easier to use a program. You will have the point cloud screen on one and the drawing interface on the second monitor, so that you don't have to minimize and maximize. What we're looking at here is the tools that allow us to turn off the point cloud. So you can toggle it on and off within the point cloud screen, as well as toggle on and off the line work. The benefits of these two tools are that it allows you a clean view of the point cloud or a clean view of the drawing. And ultimately, it allows you to turn on your drawing, your line work, with the point cloud to visually inspect to see how accurate your drawing is. So at this point here, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to go to the view of the screen and end the demonstration.